Alright, we are on the play. Rug Delver, Kapow, 2 lands, 1 threat, a boatload of interaction. We're going to keep. Hopefully our opponent doesn't kill off our Delver and then we just draw a bunch of dead stuff. That would be bad. That's basically the worst way this hand could turn out. This hand actually has a lot of relevant stuff for burn with the bolt, the spell snare, and the leak that we can basically all sequence bam 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 one after the other. So I think we're just going to shock very liberally here. I am often really conservative with my fetching. If I have a couple of fetches, I'll get Island Stomping Ground. In this case, I think we just go straight at the Steam Vents. Go to us, we don't have anything. This way we end up taking an extra shock, so we lose 2 extra life. But we have double blue up for later, which could be very relevant. So I think we're good enough against burn that we just go for it. We're playing against a blue-red deck with Lightning Bolt. Snapcaster Mage could be a very good draw in the blue mirror. Well, I mean, it is a good draw in the blue mirror. I'm a little sad that it's not a massive threat, but hey. They have a Visions. Do we just counter that? We might not get much value out of this mana leak if we don't. That's very interesting. They also might not have much to do. They probably don't have a fetch in hand if they're casting Visions here. I think I'm going to mana leak this. Let's get the breeding pool. We do give up some equity against Delve threats, but we might be able to really slow them down with that. They have a Desolate Lighthouse, okay. They're probably not on Death's Shadow. Island is pretty good because it makes Snapcaster Mage excellent. Having 2 mana and a Snapcaster Mage in hand is kind of bad. Having 3 mana makes that significantly better. Hopefully Bolt is good as well. Sacred Foundry, we are playing against a Jeskai deck. I wouldn't really be surprised to see a Spell Queller show up. Saheeli Rai, okay, Jeskai Saheeli. That's exciting. Yes, that's going to resolve. We can't stop it. It's probably going to tick up. Yeah. So we can't do the bolting yet. If they go for the combo, though, we can easily pick it apart with this bolt. I think they're going to scry. We're going to take 1. We could really use a clock. Hopefully we draw one. Mana leak is not a clock. We're going to have to get proactive soon. Their clock is ticking down, but Xmage said we have priority. That's funky. Okay, we're good. I kind of want to... That's their graveyard, not mine. Their graveyard doesn't help us with what we can use with Snapcaster Mage. Okay, they're fetching, yes. That is all good. Basic Island. Do we have a Felidar Guardian? Probably not. They've already seen Delver and Mana Leak out of us. They probably have a good idea that we have Lightning Bolt in our deck. They're just fetching before they scry, sure. We're going to take another point of damage. Snapcaster Mage, probably for Serum Visions. I kind of want to Spell Snare that. I'd like to fill up our graveyard with some juicy stuff to get value off of Snapcaster Mage with. We're going to Bolt Saheeli. Yes, we will redirect. Ooh, we can just finish off Saheeli with Tarfire if we like. If we do that, we get to keep up Mana Leak. That seems pretty good, actually. If they have a counter, we can leak it, although I don't want to. I really don't want to burn leak here. Given that they're playing a legitimate combo control deck and we are playing aggro control, we could really use a clock sometime soon. So I would like a good chance to lay down this Snapcaster Mage, but I'm not really excited to tap out with it and give our opponent a good window to punish us. If we tap out for Snapbolt here to finish off Saheeli, for one, if they counter our Snapcaster Mage, we Tarfire the Saheeli. So I guess it's okay. It ends up basically being the same thing, but we have to tap very low to do that, whereas if we do it with the Tarfire, give up some card advantage, we get to keep Mana Leak in hand and ready to go. Which means if they have a troublesome permanent, we can deal with it right away. And I would not be surprised for our opponent to have a troublesome permanent. I think we're waiting on them. Can't say for sure. Did it freeze? We don't know. Do they have priority now? Yes, I would like to redirect. We're good. We are good, Team Xmage. Our opponent is spreading, seizing. Actually, I could see them hitting either. They're taking out the steam vents. Do I want to counter that? They get to draw off of it. Let's counter it. Worst case scenario, they counter our Mana Leak. Basically the same thing happens. Oh, we could have gone for Simic Charm. If we did, though, I believe Spreading Seas still enters the battlefield. I should check that. I actually don't know if things still enter, if enchantment auras specifically still enter the battlefield if they end up with illegal targets. Denial we don't want. I would like to have a fourth land, and Mishra's Bauble is very much going to facilitate that. We don't need to use it until it's their turn, though, so we'll wait. Yup. The good old look at what our opponent's top card is. We have 6 card types. Ooh, Remand. That's going to end up being very troublesome. That makes me happy to have a fourth land coming. Very happy indeed. 6 card types: creature, land, instant, sorcery, tribal, and artifact. Delirium is going nuts right now. There's the Felidar Guardian. They are going to flicker one of their lands, most likely. I don't believe they can flicker any of our stuff. Yeah, it's just their control. Untap an island, basically. Could be relevant if they have a Spell Snare. We will draw Stomping Ground and a second card. Can it be a Goyf? It's a Deprive. That could actually be very good here. It's not going to be great in the face of Remand, but it could be good. Dewey Shock gives us Snap Leak. Is that relevant? Gives us Deprive plus Simic Charm. I think it is relevant. We have 10 turns before we die to this Felidar Guardian, so I don't mind taking 2 turns off the 12-turn clock and turning it into 10. Yep. Basic Forest. Go to them. I think we're going to try snapping something back soon. I don't know what it's going to be. I'd like to Snapcaster Mage that Serum Visions, or we could just counter that. That takes a good number of turns off the clock. We Snapcaster Mage. They're going to Remand whatever we flashback. That makes Remand a very good card. If we go Snapcaster Mage, Spell Snare, we can't Deprive. We need 4 mana to Snap, Deprive, Snare. We basically can't stop this Helix. We can Deprive it, and then they Remand our Deprive, and we have Snap Bolt. Yeah, we can't stop it. That's a bad point for Deprive against Mana Leak. Mana Leak would have gotten the job done there. We would have had to fight through this remand, but it would have gotten the job done. We could Snapcaster Mage and Simic Charm it after they attack to deal with this Felidar. That's actually very interesting. I think we're going to try that. They probably don't want to remand the Snapcaster Mage. Oh, they're going for it. Okay. That is certainly unfortunate because we don't get to do our thing yet, but we will eventually. I don't really want to deprive their remand. I'm going to let that happen. We probably just snap bolt them at the end of the turn. I think that's what's going to go down. We don't want to fight this Felidar unless we can keep our Snapcaster Mage, because we really need a clock. So go to end step. Deprive is probably better for us than the average card in their deck, so I don't mind letting them draw off of the remand. Snapcaster Mage, we're going to target Lightning Bolt. If they remand it, that's 3 less to their face, so what are you going to do? If they don't, they're going to take 3. Thought Scour would be a very nice thing to have in the graveyard right now. But alas. What can you do? Let's have that resolve and try to shoot them in the face. This is kind of neat because it reminds me of the Splinter Twin matchup, which was quite fun to play. They're fetching. We could be seeing a Spell Queller here. Snapcaster Bolt our Snapcaster. That doesn't seem bad. Yep, that's what's going down. We are in a lot of trouble. They might actually bolt us. Yeah, they're bolting us. Sure. Well, we found Bauble. Let's cast it. We have interaction, so that's good. Our Snapcaster Mage can still ambush their Snapcaster Mage and win with the help of Simic Charm. So let's look at what they're going to draw and have as much information as we can to navigate this. They are going to get a remand. We can just Simic Charm twice, so if they have nothing else, we're okay. If they have just about anything, we are in big trouble. We also need to draw pretty well. That's fantastic. We're going to Tarfire the Snapcaster Mage immediately, because them remanding Simic Charm is okay. Them fighting over too much is bad. Plus, we deal with the Snapcaster Mage definitively. I like it. Yep, let them attack. In combat, I don't really want to... Well, I might end up wanting to block even if this doesn't end up resolving. But if it does, it'd be nice. They're about to remand, and they will have 1 card in hand. Well, actually, no, they'll have 2 if we let them. The thing is, Deprive counters top-decked bolts. So I feel like I let them draw. We try to Simic Charm again. They probably won't have a second counter off of drawing, because if we counter the remand, the only card that matters is this one. But if they draw a counter spell off the remand, they will deal with the Simic Charm, which puts us in a worse spot. I think we're just going to bet on them not having a counter in either of these hit cards. We're going to Simic Charm again. +2/+2. Green, blue, done. Does that resolve? Path. Okay. That's fine. We'll get an island. And we basically need them to have a lot of nothing at this point. Mandrills is step 1. That's for sure. We can pay 2 and still be able to deprive through a remand. So that's good. We will delve. We have seen a lot of lands, I think. Well, actually only the 2. We can get rid of one of the mana leaks. One of the Tarfires, one of the Baubles. Let's try to keep a variety in the graveyard. Go to them. We can't turn the corner yet, because if we attack, we are dead. But we have a chance. And we are going to play to it like you would not believe. Wow, we have to counter that so hard. Oh my god, no, 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 no. No, don't resolve. I had the yield all priority. We almost lost right there. Bounce this forest. So that was the thing. Go to us. Wow. That could have been awful. Could still be awful. We can't attack. We can't crack this. We're going to play our land and go to them. Now we really don't have anything to do. Clicking the Your Turn button is actually okay in this instance. This has been a nice, long, interactive game. I've quite enjoyed it. Also rather edge of the seat, if you will, given that we are sitting at 1 life. Second, Felidar Guardian. That means we need to draw something immediately. And unfortunately, there aren't that many somethings in our deck that we could draw. We are very rapidly running out of outs here. We probably need another creature. And then on top of that, we need another creature or a removal spell to turn the corner. And Snapcaster Mage buys us a turn. Traverse is basically exactly what we need. Snap can actually be combined with Tarfire to take out a Felidar Guardian. Wow. We're going to put the Denial just underneath the Traverse. Go to them. Oh, we might go for Snap Simic Charm. This is so exciting. We're still basically dead if they have a burn spell, but wow. We're going to be dead next turn if they have a burn spell anyways. They just have to be patient. So I'm not going to play around them having a burn spell right now. I don't think we can beat it by the time our turn rolls around. They attack. We're going to Snapcaster Mage. Blue, 1. We can't beat Remand. So it... Well, actually, we could beat... No, we still can't beat Remand. We can live through Remand, but we can't beat it. If we go for... Whatever we go for at this point, we can't keep Snapcaster Mage if they have a Remand. So we're just going to go straight for the Simic Charm. Now, Simic Charm does not play around Spell Snare, which Tarfire does play around. That is relevant. Let's just take the Simic Charm anyways. I could very well see them playing a copy of Spell Snare. We're not going to use the Simic Charm yet, in case they can take out our Snapcaster Mage in response. This way, at least we aren't dead if that happens. Now we're going to do it. +3/+3. Right here, green, blue. Is that all good? The reason we can't beat a burn spell is if Snapcaster Mage targets a burn spell, now they're digging for what they need to just kill us. If Snapcaster Mage targets a counter spell, the Deprive, so that we can play around a burn spell, then they wait for our turn to end, we untap, we no longer can flash this back, and then they burn us out. They might still have it. Who knows? They have 2 cards in hand. Okay. We're going to get a Traverse. We're going to find a Snapcaster Mage off of it. No, we're not. We are not going to find a Snapcaster Mage. We've been through both. So the next best thing is probably a Savage Knuckleblade, give it haste, beatdowns. Is it possible that they could have a haste creature? If it is, we should leave back Snapcaster Mage. Could they have a haste creature? I really don't know. I think Nux is better than Goyf here because we're going to give it haste. Let's cast it. Blue, green, red. I don't think they have any haste creatures, so I think I just want to get them down as quickly as possible. We might be dead here. Is this a Lightning Helix? Is this it? It's not a Lightning Helix. Maybe it's a Mana Leak. Remand. Oh, that's scary. They get to draw a card off of that. This is a good Remand deck. Remand is good in combo decks. Now we definitely want to get in with the team because we don't know how much time we're going to have. And I'm a lot more concerned with them drawing off Remand, drawing for turn, and then looting with the Lighthouse and finding a burn spell than I am of them somehow having a haste creature. So, hopefully, they're looting. They're going for it. What a game this has been. Either way, this was fantastic. Really edge of the seat action. They discarded a Scalding Tarn. They're casting Serum Visions. Lightning Bolt is still an out for them. Oh, man. Do you have it? They drew already. They're just scrying. Is the scry relevant? They scooped. We did it. We actually did it. That's amazing. This is I don't care how bad the next two games are. That was a game and a half. Wow. Okay, I'm going to try to calm down so I can sideboard. Forked Bolt looks bad, although it takes out Snapcaster Mages handily. EE is an out to Saheeli. I don't think we really need one. Blood Moon looks good, though. Blood Moon looks very good. Pyroclasm is something I kind of want because we know that they play Pia and Kirin Nalar. Huntmaster. I almost called him Huntmaster Mage, which would be a weird mashup of Huntmaster and Snapcaster Mage, and that sounds awesome. 2/2 enters the battlefield, gain 2 life, make a 2/2, and give a spell flashback. That would be sweet. Ancient Grudge and Revelry can both hit Thopter tokens, but I don't think we really want to go for the Thopter tokens like that. Revelry seems good. I don't even know which of these are basically all maybe piles. This can be the don't want pile. I don't think we want Dismember, although it is a good way to take out a Felidar Guardian. Basilisk Collar seems kind of bad, but I like Is It Staticaster a lot. Takes out Snapcaster Mages, combines with Bolt to take out Guardian, takes out Thopter tokens, that seems good. Ceremonious Rejection seems bad, so I don't think I want these 4, although Collar does combo with Staticaster, so that's relevant. That is the best of the cards I don't really like. Having Staticaster makes me less likely to want Pyroclasm, because Staticaster has a very similar effect. Pyroclasm basically is only going to be good against Pia and Kirin, Thopters, and Snapcaster Mages, and Staticaster's doing that exact job, except with Delirium we can tutor it up. I don't think they're going to board in Rest in Peace, but they might, and Revelry has applications against Thopters and Spreading Seas anyways, so I like it. I think I want 2 Blood Moons, not really the 3rd. Let's run the Dismember. Let's try boarding these in. 7 cards have to go. Let's get cracking. Shock kills their combo if they haven't previously ticked up, so Tarfires don't seem like something we want to trim. Dryad seems kind of bad. Snapcaster Mage seems excellent. Vapor Snag can go. Simic Charm was kind of a beast that game. We're going to cut Scours because this is once again going to be very interactive. I like Spell Snare. Oh geez. Cut a Denial and a Traverse to mitigate how bad a Rest in Peace could be for us. I don't know if I really like that, but without a lot of time, I think it's what we're going to go for. This hand seems pretty good. This hand seems pretty dang good. We can get a forest and have Blood Moon mana. That combined with Bauble will accelerate out of Mandrills. If they play anything for 2, we can Spell Snare instead of getting the forest. We're going to keep. Turn 2, Revelry if it's relevant or revelrant. I'm big on puns. You guys probably don't know that. I am very big on puns. Hallowed Fountain tapped. That's fine. Go to us. We have a second Bauble. Are we going to use that now? I think we're just going to cast it. We might use it now. We do have Scry available. The thing is, if we use it and we want to Scry, we have to fetch right now, which means we don't have Snare up, which is definitely awkward. It also makes Spreading Seas a lot better for them. We'll wait. We'll Bauble on their turn, or their upkeep. I have been a very big fan of upkeep Baubles. We'll wait in case they have a fetch land. That could be very relevant. It is a Serum Visions. We're going to let that resolve, and then we'll Bauble whatever they Scry on top. If they do, that could give us some information as to what kind of cards they want to draw, which could help us figure out what else is in their hand. Waiting on Serum Visions to resolve. Opponent is Scrying bottom. So we are getting no information off of this Bauble. Tormod's Crypt is perfectly fine. I'm a little interested in why they're using Tormod's Crypt as their graveyard hate of choice. I imagine it has to deal with them... oh wow, they're going to draw a Supreme Verdict. That's scary. I imagine it has a lot to deal with them wanting their graveyard to be intact. Let's just go to our turn. We draw twice. Simic Charm, Delver, that seems good. Let's leave that fetch there and just play a Delver. Spreading Seas is going to be bad. Neither of these are good targets for it, so I like that. That's their top card. This is our graveyard. Let's break out their graveyard. I also want to attempt to maneuver a situation where we can Mandrills before they have a good shot at using that Crypt. Spreading Seas. Supreme Verdict is going to make that very difficult to pull off. They missed their land drop though, so that is amazing. Do I want to draw that or fetch into it? Having 4 lands could be an asset. However, we won't reveal. On the other hand, we probably have a lot of time and draw steps to hit those 4 lands. So let's just grab that top card off of our library. We got a Serum Visions off the top. We can set up Delver while maintaining some stuff. Let's swing to start off. We'll be able to hold up... Well, we won't be able to hold up much. We can hold up Revelry, basically, if we go for the Visions now, which really isn't that great. Our opponent's going to take 1. That's fantastic. They're missing lands, which does make me want to get a Hooting Mandrills out quickly. But if we use this Bauble, it gives them a window to snipe us with Tormod's Crypt. We might still do it. Let's look at their top card. Looking at their top card will also tell us if they're about to draw a land, which is very relevant. So let's take a look. If they let this resolve, we can shock and Mandrills. They are drawing a land. So if they hit a second one, we are going to be in a world of hurt. Except Simic Charm lets us bounce. Let's get aggressive. Delirium is about to get pretty bad, I admit. Snapcaster Mage, not quite so, because we do have plenty of things in our hand that are worth flashing back. Oh hey, Denial. If I had another mana up, that would be an amazing draw. As is, it'll probably be good later. On the bright side, they didn't Tormod's Crypt, so they're not in a great position to use it now. They're going to nuke our red source, which really is basically fine. It's not great. I think it's okay. So far, it just turns off Revelry. It gives us a second blue source. Never mind, we have a red source and a blue source coming up right now. So that's not super relevant. We're going to play it. We probably don't bother cracking it. We're going to ship in. I want to hold up 2 mana so that we can Simic Charm if they go for the Revelry. They don't know that we have it. So that's nice. Revelry, jeez. Verdict. I am all over the place with card names right now. Them using Verdict is still kind of bad for us because it still takes out our Delver and our Mandrills, but I think that's passable. I'm going to Visions. We don't need to fetch here. Tarfire really isn't great, and I half expect Delver to die anyways, so we're just going to throw Goyf on top. Then again, we could fetch away Tarfire. Now let's do this. Go to us. If our opponent hits their land drop, they can Verdict. If they don't, well, quite obviously they can't. And if there's a land drop, Verdict incoming in 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, I was a little fast on that. They still have to fetch. There will be a Verdict, though. And it will be quite supreme. Verdict comes down. Blue-green, we're going to bounce this Mandrills. I think I would rather have a Hooting Mandrills in hand than have a Simic Charm. So let's do that. That's 1 Verdict out of the way. Who knows how many of those things they play. Tormod's Crypt is going to make Hooting Mandrills and Goyf both kind of bad. What are you going to do, though? That's not something we can really deal with. We're just going to have to take it as it comes. If they don't use the Crypt, I think I just slam Mandrills here. I'm not going to fetch. They're using the Crypt. Now we're going to fetch on end step. Yup. If they didn't, I would rather just go to our turn and slam Mandrills. As is, we want a red source, so I guess it's just going to be Steam Vents. Blood Moon would be so good here. Please let us top deck Blood Moon. It's a Bolt. I fetched away the Goyf. That was bad. Don't do that at home. Remember what's on top of your library, friends. That was a misplay that might cost us the match. Just might. Saheeli Rai comes down. That's really quite fine. We can't double bolt it. We can't denial it either, really. Oh, but we can. We can double bolt it. With the power of Destructive Revelry. Yeah, you can scry. We don't want to take out Saheeli Rai yet, because I would rather them scry thinking that they're going to have a Saheeli Rai in play. Revelry. Yeah, target that. Red. Green. Yep. If these resolve, this is going to be fantastic. They really might not. But if they do, this is going to be fantastic. I think I will. Bolt. You. Red. Yep. We're also fueling our graveyard to get Mandrills out. And once Mandrills comes down, another Lightning Bolt. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have kept bolts in. They do disrupt the combo, though. We have to delve 3, which is unfortunate. It means we won't be able to hold up both Snare and Denial, or a counter plus a bolt. We get to cast 1 other spell. But, I mean, what are you going to do? At least we get to cast another spell. Hopefully they go for a path as their only interaction here, because we can denial that, and if they have actual nothing besides that, that's great. If they do have other stuff, we're basically in bad shape. I don't think we're likely to burn our opponent out. We've already exiled 1 bolt. They shocked. This is a big turn. Snap. 3 mana spell. Snap Visions into something. Given that it's just Snap Visions, I'm inclined to let it be. If we counter Snap and they have a path to exile, we are in trouble. If we let Snap resolve and they have a path to exile, we are in trouble. But now that they passed priority to us, that's not really a concern. They could Visions into something good. I really think I allow it. We can beat Snapcaster Mage pretty handily. What we can't beat is them baiting out our only counterspell for the turn, and then our Mandrills being defenseless. That's something we can't deal with. This verdict is no longer relevant. That Visions can resolve once again. Go ahead, draw, scry, do your thing. You can have your card advantage for now. I'm protecting the tempo that we have on this board. Because if they deal with Mandrills, look at our hand. We can counter a thing. We can potentially counter another thing. We probably would have used one of these to put our shields down. Then we have a couple bolts in hand and another counter spell, and we are praying in top deck mode. I'd rather untap. Ooh, Bobble's good. Bobble is certainly good. Is that the third Bobble? Yes, it is. That's the third Bobble. I said this previously, but I am really liking Bobble. This thing has done work. I think we want to bolt the Snapcaster Mage if it blocks. If it doesn't block, we might end up bolting it anyways, but it seems less likely. If it does block, chances are they have a bolt. It didn't, so they can just go, I guess. We'll play by ear. Right now, if they fetch and put their shields down, we can outright kill them. So that's certainly a thing. Let's look at their top card. It's a shame Mishra's Bauble is expensive. This is a fantastic card. I think everybody should be able to play these in their Rug Delver deck. I don't have it in paper. Then again, my paper deck is pretty budget to begin with, so we won't get into that. I wonder how cheap Bauble is on MTGO. It's probably more accessible there because there are bound to be more copies. Now we have to play around Blessed Alliance and probably a potential path. Do we bolt this Snapcaster Mage? Our life total is pretty hefty right now. And being able to burn them out is a line that I could see being very relevant. So I'm going to let this happen. I'll go to 13. End step, good. We draw off of Bauble. We found another blue source, which is fantastic. 2 blue sources weren't necessary. One's great. No basic islands exiled or in the graveyard, so we can get one. We're going to attack. We have quite a few. We have basically, it's one line in attack, counter, bolt, but it has so many options to it. Do we Spell Snare or Denial this? I believe we want to Spell Snare because it feels like the restriction on Spell Snare is more relevant here. Spell Snare can only counter things of 2 CMC, so it can't hit Path, whereas Denial can't hit Snapcaster Mage. I don't think Snapcaster Mage is going to be a big deal, and that's the only other thing that I think is really relevant here, so we're going to Snare this. We should be able to poke our 4 damage through. This has been such a match. Wow. This is modern, people. This is modern at its finest. There's the path we've been playing around. Let's Denial that. Hopefully this works. Do we fetch first? Yes, we do. We want to fetch before we Denial so that we can have double red up in case that becomes relevant. Denial path. Denial. Did Xmage just freeze on us? Okay. We can't play with the stops at all because if we do, we're basically going to let that path resolve. So I'm going to open another client on top of this. Oh my god, the path, the Denial hit the stack. Now I have to cancel the second client I'm opening. We're still recording here, right? Yeah, we're good. We're good. We are in the window we need to be. We will not be connecting in another client on top of this one. Let's roll this over. They have the Dispel. Oh my lord. Mandrills down, people. Mandrills down. Okay. What do we do? They counter Denial. That's fine. Mandrills is heading to exile. We're gonna get something. Now we are very much in top deck mode. We're out of basics. Yep. I kind of want to shove some bolts at their face. At least one. This way, we might get them to shock, which makes the last bolt lethal. Or fetch. Either one's fine. And if they have Remand, we can play bolt 3 times. so that's okay. We're still recording here. I'm going to close the other client. Yes, I'd like to exit. We're still good. We're still good. Everything's still good. That's fantastic. Go to them. They hit us for 2. We have 5 draws to find burn or a creature, and then we're going to game 3 if we don't. I'm going to try to play a little faster so that we make sure we don't lose to the clock. That would be quite sad. That's an outcome I don't want to see. Granted, I don't want the opponent to lose to the clock either, but I would rather they lose to the clock than we do. Tormod's Crypt right away, sure. Bolt, Snap Bolt could be relevant. Do we have Snapcaster Mages? Yeah, that's fine. Do we have Snapcaster Mages? None have been seen. Traverse is going to be bad. There's another Bolt. Okay, do we go for it? If they have Dispel, this will be bad. We're going to wait for them. At the very least, we go for this on their upkeep. Hopefully, and ideally, we want them to tap out at least a little bit. I think I want to try it on their upkeep, though. They only have 2 cards. They've used a lot of interaction. I feel like it's unlikely that they have anything. So we're going to go for it. See what happens. Remand can punish us because we need 2 bolts to resolve and we only have 3 red. Naturally, we're going to leave up plenty of blue mana. Snapcaster Dispel. Here we go. They had the 1. The cat is out of the bag that we now want to burn them. So there's that. Targeting Blessed Alliance. That's going to net them a life. Actually, yeah, it net gains them 1. They'll go to 2. That's fine. They get to fetch, but that's the only thing that's relevant here. Every burn spell in our deck still does the job. So we have 2 bolts in exile, 2 in the bin. No bolts left. There are 2 Tarfires in our library. We're at 8. They have a 2-turn clock. Here we go. Steam Vents. Not going to do it. Do we play it? I don't see it being relevant. We'll go to them. This is so exciting. I still like fighting them in their upkeep, so that if they do have something like Snapcaster Blessed Alliance, it makes them tap very far down. So then if we draw something like a Mandrills, we can try to resolve it while they don't have counters up. Do they have the combo here? They wouldn't be doing it post-combat, but they might draw into the combo. They blink a mountain. I kind of like blinking a Snapcaster Mage there, to be quite honest. We found a Delver, which unfortunately has to chump. Even, well, I mean, if they don't have anything to bolt it with. Then again, if they have bolt, we're dead anyway, so that's not really relevant. It'd be nice if this Delver could transform and take them down, but the poor little guy's never going to have that chance. We're just going to block a Snapcaster Mage. This makes me glad I didn't shock or fetch, because then we would be dead here even with the Delver. So, what's the top deck? They have the burn this time. We're down. We're going to game 3. There's not much time on anybody's clock. I think I want this Traverse, even knowing they have ways to interact with the graveyard. They also have a lot of ways that put stuff in our graveyard. We could go hard on the Blood Moon plan, but I don't really like that. What are we taking out for that Traverse? Not a burn spell. Revelry seems good. Bauble isn't getting cut anytime soon. Not a Snapcaster Mage. Maybe we just take that Traverse back out. I actually don't see anything here that I like less than Traverse, I think. The counters are pretty relevant, so I want to keep those. We're on the play. Hopefully we can close this game before time goes out. I would very much like to have a legitimate conclusion to this, because this has been quite the match. We're mulliganing. Does our opponent? Our opponent kept. This is a hand that I like very much. I don't want Huntmaster. I'm going to be frank. We need two more lands before Huntmaster is relevant. And if we don't hit any lands, Blood Moon is also bad. That gives us 2 dead cards. And having 2 dead cards seems really bad. This is probably a Bolt. Could be a Visions. One of the two. Let's see which. Anyone who had money on Visions wins that pool. Or I guess they win that fountain. Do we have Transformation? It's also relevant that putting Huntmaster on the bottom helps Delver out. Bauble is going to be fantastic for us. It's going to give us slight amounts of information. It's going to help with Delver transforming, and it might draw us into the land we need to slam this Blood Moon and close this. If we resolve this Blood Moon, the door is likely going to close pretty hard on our opponent. Them having a fetch is pretty awkward. Granted, we want to look at our card anyway, so that seems fine. It is a Serum Visions. We're going to reveal that. That means Delver has to be on top of the stack. Bauble hits the stack first. It's good to pay attention to stuff like that. You don't want to screw up. We draw Visions. We draw a Goyf. We're going to hit for 3. We actually might not bother playing this Tarmogoyf. Here's a path. Now we're definitely playing the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, that's fine. That is actually such a good sign. We get a basic forest. We're going to fetch out a Steam Vents. Now, maybe we don't fetch out the Steam Vents. I want to play around Spreading Seas. I also want to slam Goyf. Let's get a Stomping Ground. It's going to make it harder for them to cut us off mana. Also means that Goyf can resolve here unless they have Spell Snare. If they aren't able to Spreading Seas our red source, we can slam Blood Moon. I don't know if they're going to get a basic here. They might. They also might not, because they do have some heavy mana requirements. Supreme Verdict is kind of difficult to cast sometimes. Basic Mountain is the worst thing they could find. If they hit Stomping Ground, they're in good shape. They did. A red land makes Blood Moon awesome. Any other land makes it less awesome. Well, never mind. We're going to resolve Blood Moon now. Yeah. I'll just get a Basic Mountain to ensure that we can cast it. Go to us. Ooh, we drew Goyf, but we can cast that anyways, so we're just going to Serum Visions. We found a Deprive, a Traverse. Traverse is actually going to be quite good with this Starfire. So let's keep that. Blood Moon. That's probably going to close out the game. I actually think we can kill them before their time runs out, because they're going to have trouble interacting with this Goyf. We might be able to do it, guys. The excitement is mounting. They have a lot of mountains. Oh, mounting. That was a happy accident. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. I believe this taps for red. Not that it's super relevant. Let's cast Goyf. Go to them. End step, Tarfire. On our turn, we're going to be traversing. Goyf is going to be massive. How massive? GG's, dude. GG's. You too. Ain't nothing wrong with Jeskai Saheeli. You guys know I like Knuckleblade, but let's make sure everybody does. Their time's gonna run out. They're not letting us finish this game because they want to chat. Then again, we have probably demonstrated that we can win. They scooped. I'm gonna take it. Hopefully you all enjoyed that video. I enjoyed it a lot, as you can probably tell. Thank you all for watching that bit of sweetness. And I will see you all in the next one. See, we had a nice, long, interactive game with our opponent, plenty of back and forth, and our opponent was very pleasant. That's there's probably a correlation there that people who like long back and forth games are also pleasant. But I'm not going to say that definitively because I don't know. We have a sample size of 2 though, so at least we do. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.